All right, let's dive into something you've probably seen a million times, but maybe never really looked at. Today, we're decoding the organizational chart. Yep, that web of boxes and lines that's in almost every office.
You know the one I'm talking about, right? It can look, well, kind of complicated, maybe even a little intimidating. So, what is it actually telling us about how a company, or any group really, works? Okay, so here's the trick. Let's stop thinking of it as just a boring diagram and start seeing it for what it really is, a map. A map that shows you the flow of power, the pathways for communication, and the very bones of the entire structure. It's the blueprint you need to navigate the whole system. Now, with any map, you've got to have a starting point. For us, we're going to start our journey right at the very top of the pyramid, so we can really understand where authority comes from. So, the fancy term for this kind of setup is a top-down hierarchy. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Basically, all the major decisions and the real power, they start at a single point at the top, and from there, everything flows downwards through all the different levels. And when you look at it this way, the direction is, well, it's unmistakable. Authority here isn't really a two-way street. It's more like a waterfall. It starts at the peak and just cascades down, with each level carrying out the decisions made by the one right above it. So let's zoom in on that view from the top. You've got the boss, who's kind of the main character on our map. But hey, look closer. You've also got a boss's boss, and even a next higher superior. Now that right there, that's a huge clue. It tells us we're not just looking at some small startup. This map belongs to a big, complex organization with lots of layers. All right, so we've got the peak figured out. Now let's trace our way down and follow those formal lines of power to see how the official chain of command works. And you can see it's a really clear cascade. Authority gets passed from the boss to their direct reports. Then those people manage their own teams. And from there, the whole thing just fans out into all the different departments and offices that get the actual work done every day. Okay, and this is where the lines on the map really start to make sense. You see those solid vertical lines? They're not just there for decoration. They are the formal reporting structure. They show you, with zero confusion, exactly who reports to whom. It's literally the spine of the entire organization. But you know, work isn't just about top-down orders, is it? A ton of it is about working with the people next to you. So let's shift our focus from the vertical lines of power to the horizontal connections that make real teamwork happen. And that is where these dashed lines come into play. See, these horizontal lines tell a totally different story. It's not about authority at all. It's about collaboration. These are the peer-to-peer relationships, connecting people who are at the same level. So you've basically got a tale of two lines here. The solid vertical ones, that's all about authority, the top-down chain of command. But the dashed sideways ones, that's collaboration, coordinating with your peers. One is for giving orders, the other is for getting things done together. And really, don't underestimate how important these connections are. These are the bridges that stop different departments from turning into their own little bubbles. They connect people in similar roles and make sure the whole organization is actually moving in the same direction. Without them, you just have a bunch of separate parts, not a team. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You look at this chart and it seems super rigid, right? Like it's all set in stone. But there's actually a hidden layer of adaptability built right into the design. So even though it might look really formal and fixed, this whole framework is designed to be surprisingly flexible, and the clues are kind of hidden in the details. I mean, even the thinking behind this chart points out that it suggests adaptability, where roles can vary by context or organization size. So think of it less like a cage and more like a flexible template that can be adjusted as things change. And one of the clever ways it does that is by using these really generic labels. You see titles like department or division director instead of something super specific. That's on purpose. It allows the same basic map to work for all sorts of different organizations, big or small. So we've gone from the top to the bottom, from side to side. But why does any of this matter? Why is reading this map so important? Well, because it gives you the power to understand your own place in the structure. So when you boil it all down, what is this map really showing us? It's giving us clarity. A clear chain of command so you know who to talk to. A visual for how power flows. The official channels for working with your teammates. And a framework that's actually built to adapt, not to break. In the end, this is so much more than just some boxes and lines. It's your guide to how things get done, who makes the calls, and how you can work with others to get where you want to go.
So the big question I'll leave you with is this. Now that you know how to read the map, where do you fit in? And maybe more importantly, where are you going to go next?